Hello and welcome to this Blender tutorial. Today actually what you saw is directly what we are going to be doing for this tutorial. I rendered out the video directly after doing this tutorial, so let's get started then since you already know what it is. Poor cube always gets deleted. We have a 720p video at 30 frames a second. Set the alpha. What I'm doing here is just a lot of what I'm doing, what I showed how to do in the Blender VFX tutorial. So I'm just going to go through this quickly. If you need more time, need to know exactly what's going on here, you can go and see that. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. It fast forwarded a bit. This is all I did is just set this clip as the background, set the scene to render into it. You can see exactly how to do that in the VFX tutorial, but I'm not going to go over in detail how to do it now, as we do not have too long for this one. Right, so just add that as a background here as well, so we can see what we're working with. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is the arm glowing with energy. So we're going to add an icosphere. I'm going to start it off about here. Spread it to go about the length and width of the arm. So that's about right. Turn on auto key. Just make sure it's keyframe. Advance 5. Alright, so now that you saw the first couple, I'm just going to fast forward until it gets to a point where this is done. Alright, so that just got fast forward, so that's done now. So if we watch it through, it'll then track my arm. Alright, so we next set up our material, and also one thing I forgot to mention before, over in the node editor, we're going to add a layer node. Set it to fog glow, size 9, leave everything else default. Add new material, volume, set emission to 500. I know it's a bit heavy, but rendering transparent backgrounds and volumes gets a little odd. Oh, and also set step calculation to 0, so it's smooth and actually renders in well. Alright, we can set this a little higher. It's not quite glowing enough. Just find a value that's good for you. That's good. Alright, so that'll follow, so we just need to fade in. So we need to start fade in about, here or so. And then end here. Oh well. And then fade out. You may have to tweak with the exact way it fades out. I can't remember. I think high emission fade in, fade out things get a little odd looking. So we have to work with that a little more than I did. I'm not sure exactly. Alright, and that's pretty much it for that glowing arm. I mean, it's not that complicated. So next we are going to move into layer 2. So just have them both select at the same time, add a cube. Make sure it's in layer 2, back it up from the rest so it's over everything else. And this is going to be our masking layer. Anything behind this cube will not show up in the final render. Once again, we're going to go into wireframe and turn on auto key so we can see what we're doing better. And just rotate that. Kind of make sure it's covering over my your main torso. And once again, I'm just going to fast forward through this because it's a lot of button clicking. Alright, and there we go. So we're done fast forwarding through that. Alright, so if we just look at the playback, we can just see very simply what this is doing. And it's just a very simple mask. If you were to actually pause this on one of the frames, it wouldn't really actually look all that great. If we just look up one frame, it doesn't actually look all that great. But it's we need something real simple. It's something fast moving. Hopefully this is not something anyone's gonna get real nitpicky about. So next we are going to add the actual shockwave itself, which is a torus base. Actually, no. Let's add the plane first. Sorry, I'm getting this out of order. All right, so we need to have this plane start right in front of where his fist touches. So go into edit mode on that and just drag the vertices out to the corners. Don't change anything on the z-axis, otherwise some stuff will get messed up and not along the right lines or whatever. So just right in front of where the fist is. And then on this edge, out to the edge of the grass. There, and on this side, out to the edge of the camera view. Like so. And once again, edge of the camera view, which should happen to be this very corner over here. You don't want to go beyond the camera view because then you would get warping or repeating images or textures from the top overlapping on the bottom, and that just won't look nice. Alright, so that's where the shockwave is actually going to take effect, so we just subdivide that a lot. Let's see, actually, let's get an exact count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can get away with 6. 7 will look a bit better. And also set this to be a smooth object. Alright, so now under materials, we're going to first set the specular to 0, and that's all we're going to do over here. Press tab, you project, create a UV map projecting from view. By default, it should go from camera bound, so double check, make sure it does that. And we are going to add the starter video as texture. Match movie link, set everything to 0. Try to offset seams. And to under image sampling, take this one, drag it all the way up. That'll flatten out a few seams. So if we render this out, we can see that, oops, I forgot a step. Okay, next thing we are doing is adding lighting to this to make sure it renders out correctly. So into material view, add a lamp, a sun lamp. Now we are going to make this one, make sure ray shadow is checked, and about 0.1 on the energy. This one should go straight up and down. Just duplicate that. Rotate it so it's facing towards where, well, facing whatever direction you want the shadows to be in. And just zoom in the line, drag the brightness setting up until you can't see the seams. There we go. So now you cannot see exactly where that plane starts and ends. So if we render it out, see, it is fairly seamless, except for this stupid black line. I can never get it to go away, whatever I do. Sorry. That black line has been constantly frustrating. If anyone has any idea on how to get that to go away, please comment on it. I cannot figure that one out, or even why it's there. Okay, so anyway. Alright, so now we need to add the shockwave. So it is a torus, whatever. Okay, make sure this is even with the ground, with the midpoint on the same z-axis location as the ground is. Move it about to where the fist is. Next, we're going to cut off the back half. Actually, no, I don't want that in local view. All right, so we're just going to, there we go. Just cut off the back half. And then go over, get these two ends, fill it in, extrude the face and scale it in. That's not really a necessary step. Next, go into edit, select all, and hit randomize once, maybe, yeah, just once is good. Maybe twice. And also set this to be a smooth object. Alright, so we need to go to the frame right where the fist touches the ground. That would be on that frame. Scale all the way down. Set keyframes for location and scaling. Advance about 10 frames. Scale it up to it's about as wide as the plane is, a little bit wider, like that. and then move it straight off the plane. Is there any? No. There's no particular trick. Just make sure it's on, once again, on the same z-axis as it started. X, Y, Z. Off there. Same z-axis. And set in scaling and location. So you see as soon as the fish touches the ground, okay, that's just a bit fast. We're going to just take all those keyframes and move them a bit farther out. And also there's a bit of a delay. It goes a bit after he hits the ground, so we are going to move the entire set over to the left now, a couple frames. This is just all a little nitpicking, getting the timing down better. And that's a bit better. Alright, so we are actually almost done with this. We need to set this material as transparency ray trace. Under the settings, 0.5 alpha, 0.01 IQR, whatever, IOR, 0.8 gloss, and 0 specular. So if we render that, it looks like a very nice dusty. Oh, and also under shadow settings, just go through and uncheck all receive, cast, receive, cast this, cast that, and check it all. Alright. So it needs to be a little more transparent. So this is just, once again, kind of tweaking with it, seeing what looks good. That looks a bit better. Alright, I think the shockwave needs to end up a bit bigger. Sorry for all this kind of in-stuff adjustment. It's not exactly a precise effect in any way. There we go, that looks decent. Alright, so I'm going to set the edge. See, does it still look good? Yes, that looks good. Alright, now for the really cool part of the effect, the ground shaking. That is done. Now we have, when we set up this texture, we set it up to project not as a window, but as this is warped, the texture will warp with it. And the way we have our sun set up here, when it warps, it'll create shadows, so it'll look realistic. So we use dynamic paint for this, add a canvas for the plane, type, surface type waves. We'll be messing with these settings later. Alright, and we need to start it at the frame when the shockwave first touches, or this one here. Alright, and then we are going to do this, add this as a brush. So then if we play it back, you can already see it's making waves. Now if we go into material view, we can see what this is actually doing a bit. The ground looks like it's shaking. Alright, so under this settings, this looks a little too fluid. It keeps shaking for too long. So we need to turn the dampening up a bit, so it'll stop. That's better. But also turn smoothness down. We need this to be a little less fluid, a little more jagged. That's good. And we want those waves to be bigger, so over here in the waves we can do a depth change factor of 2. That just makes it a bit they're bigger. Waves are a bit bigger. And we need oscillating to be a bit more, so we turn this one up. See if this will do it. And if we set that to lower, what does that do? Okay, never mind. What if we set that to really high? That doesn't look right. Okay, never mind. Let's just leave this alone. It's a lot of each one is unique. Even when I've made this multiple times, every time I've made it so unique, there's no exact value. So that is very easy to create, and when you render it out, you can see there are seams in this, but like when there's a big dip, it's not dipping on the main ground, so there's a bit of a seam there. However, for the most part, it looks very decent. Now, to help get rid of some of those edge seams, this will smooth out edges. It takes a bit more on the processor time, but it doesn't complete, as you can see, it doesn't completely make the seams go away, and we still get this, but it helps smooth it out. Alright, so that's how you do this effect, and so that's about it. The video you saw is just this plus a couple sound effects, and that's about it. And you can see how I do the sound effects once again in the Blender VFX tutorial. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial.